And so I'm here with Eric Janicki. We're talking about Johny Muenster that just won his pro card. He went from last place last year to first place this year. Did you think he had a chance?
I think, honestly, he did, because I always saw that he actually had pretty good shape, good lines. And also we have to remember that it was only about 6 months before he did that show that he decided to break that natty card, to bust that seal. So it's not like he had been on performance enhancement for a very long time, but you could see the insertions were there, really good quad sweeps. And I think that going into the first show, you have to understand there's a lot of pressure, especially being an influencer and having all the eyes on you. And I think that there was just some mistakes made, it sounded like, going into peaking last year. I don't think he was quite in shape, and the difference was night and day this year. And I think if you could take away one thing, it just shows how important conditioning is for bodybuilding. Like it could be the difference between 16th and first. It's wild.
And so I had a video and I was trying to post this earlier, but the whole Mike Israetel thing happened, and so it was delayed. Thankfully, I didn't post the video yet because we got to see that Johny Muenster actually won. And so a couple weeks ago he competed, he won, he qualified for this competition, and in the video I said he needed to get a little bit leaner and put on a little bit more muscle, and I don't know how he did it, but he did it in a couple weeks. He looks way better this time.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think it's the whole plan with this coach was probably to come in at 80% for that show, which is just a qualifier, and then, or a regional show, and then to get to this show and actually hit it 100%. I think that they did just that.
And so he looks fantastic. I actually ran into him right before we came back here, and I was like, congratulations, you did it. He was super excited. And so we got to answer this question. There's been several famous pros that have recently just turned pro. Uh-oh. We have Larry Wheels, and we got Sam Sulek, and we have now Johny Muenster. Who's the best of the three? If they all battled it out next year, say, or even right now, who would come out on top if they're all, let's call it, all in their prime at their peak right now? Who's the best of the three?
I'm going to go with Johny on this one. And for the simple reason that if we're looking at classic shape, he has a pretty small waist structure and sweeping quads. He's got a great back. And I think that now he gets another 10 pounds to add on top of that. I know that Larry and Sam both get that advantage as well. But to me, if we're looking at just the structure and the flow of the physique, I think Johny is going to be a better classic physique competitor.
I agree. I think Johny takes the cake here. He's got the best overall shape. I think Larry perhaps has the better upper body. He's got one leg not as good as the other. I think that throws him off. And I think that Sam, he's just almost tapped out. He was so hard to make the weight class already. Larry also. I don't think that they can put enough muscle on to beat Johny Muenster. I think overall he just has the best shape.
I think the best way I can tell how somebody's going to do in classic physique is the guys that go pro and they're like, oh yeah, I was like 14 pounds under my weight cap and they looked way better than everybody else on stage. I'm like, oh yeah, you're going to cook, because whatever it is for you, whether it's small joints or great insertions or muscle bellies, and or you just have light bones, like whatever it is, if you can be that far under the cap, and like a Matt Grego situation when he got his pro card, or when he did his first classic physique show and he was like did great, and then everybody found out he was like 16 pounds under his weight cap. You're like, wait, what? How do you? Most of these guys are like dying the week before trying to barely make the weight cap. So if that is the case and you have that much room to grow and you're doing well, whereas if you can barely get your pro card and you are doing the sauna and eating 1,000 calories for 3 weeks before the show, I think it might be the sign that you probably weren't cut out to be maybe a top classic guy. Yeah, you could turn pro maybe, but I don't think you'll ever be a top classic guy in that scenario.
It reminds me when I competed at Urs, his first show as a pro, and he was 20 pounds under the weight class, and he smoked me. I'm like, how? I said, you're going to be a top Olympian, if not the Olympian champion in the future. A couple of years later, he was a top 3 guy. It just is insane. So, yeah, I mean, Larry, I think he had to cut like 15 pounds just to make the cap, like in a day. And he's up 50 pounds 3 days later. So he's made for open.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing. The same, coming to terms I had to do myself with. Even if I was inside out peeled. We're talking like Yosema
Like
type
Tristan
condition.
Lee shredded.
Tristan Lee shredded.
3.6%. I tested him today.
I would have to be 227 pounds between 6 foot and 6'1". I'm not over 6'1". So, yeah, Phil, I'm not over 6'1".
Unless you heighten like Mike Sommerfeld.
Yeah,
you're
that'd be 6'4". I could have a 275 pound weight cap. So, yeah, no, it's you just have to have that realization that a lot of times if you have to lose muscle to try to get under the cap, you're gonna look stringy, and you have to be built for the class, and it's really gonna come down to structure. Open, you can start to create the illusion more of a smaller waist with more muscle in your delts, more muscle in your lats, more muscle in your legs, and it creates the illusion of a smaller waist. But if you're hampered by a cap, you can't continue to build muscle to make it look crazier.
All right. So that's a wrap. Congrats to Johny Muenster, new IFBB pro, and good luck. I think he would be competing like in a couple days. I think I think he turns. Don't you turn pro and then you get to compete at the Olympia?
No, I don't think
the amateur. It works like that in the Arnolds.
No.
I was hoping you could have just competed like a couple days later. That would be the epic battle.
No.
Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping to
nice.
see him go against the pros.
Yeah, no. That's not how it works. Unfortunately, sorry, Johnny. But yeah, I had to do a little reality check for Greg here. But honestly, Johnny, if you're watching this, huge congratulations, man. There couldn't be a nicer guy that would deserve this. And it's so nice to see you come back and have your redemption after last year with all the negative comments and
after the video I made,
and then
come back and win. That's pretty epic.
Yeah, I think
he's just getting started. He's been on gear for 20
a
year
months,
or whatever.
Months,
like
18 months.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential left.
So I think that's a key takeaway, guys. If you want to win shows, conditioning is going to be your best friend, and I know I have to work on that for my my pro shows next year. I need to be a little bit sharper. So there's levels of the game, and I think if you can come in conditioned, you can beat guys that are much better than you structurally or have more muscle, because you're just going to expose them with the details. So congrats, Johnny. Love you, man. And yeah, go get your HGLT supplements. Be 1 in a million or 1 in a trillion.
He was on the Turk.
Yeah, he was.
I gave him the Turk last time I checked him out, and I said, you just got to give it leaner, and then here he is.
There he is, fucking Turk builder.
100% it had to be the Turk. I didn't know. That's the reason.
I mean, we can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, we're not sure.
We're not sure.
It might have been.
But just go get yours so you can test, and then you can get your money back if you don't get your pro card.
And be sure to go check out the Nipstein files on Solomon's channel. I'll be reacting to that shortly. And so until next time, we are out.